At this time, we would like to start this year's Rosa Parks Day Assembly.
Special guests, and representatives from the administration board. Rosa Parks Day is yet another day we get to showcase our talents. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our program.
Thank you, Raymond. As Raymond said, we welcome you to yet another joyous occasion. The students, as well as myself, love when Mr. Brown comes to town. Not only does he pass out money, but he inspires our children to think about their future and the reason why they attend Rosa Parks Elementary. So with this time, we'll have Ms. Natalia Wright with a brief introduction for the Team Mentoring Committee. Natalia?
Your contribution to the school PTA will help support the many incentive programs that keep us motivated.
For those of you who did not participate, the Team Mentoring Committee held a barbecue for the Princeton game, Middletown versus Princeton. Hot dogs, hamburgers, ribs. It was quite a successful event, and we are very fortunate to have such a partnership with the Team Mentoring Committee. They have been with us for approximately the last 3 years, whether it's their time that they donate, whether it's their money, whether it be their ideas or the manpower. We greatly appreciate what the Team Mentoring Committee does for us. And at this time, we have them come on the stage, please.
Good afternoon. Okay, as Mr. Edwards said, a bunch of us old guys got together the afternoon of the Middletown Middies and Princeton Vikings football game, and we barbecued ribs and chicken and hot dogs and hamburgers all afternoon, and we were fortunate enough to raise $500. And we'd like to take this opportunity to dedicate that $500 to Rosa Parks. Okay, I want to mention one other thing. Raise your hand, students, if you've had a good year so far. Okay, keep your hands raised if you're doing well academically. That's great. We'll see you next spring when we have our awards assembly, as we've been doing for the last 2 years, so this will be our 3rd year, and we always come with medals and certificates and money. So we'll see you next spring.
As we stated, students, we are very fortunate to have such a partnership with the Team Mentoring Committee. If you're wondering what this $500 will be used for, how many of you have participated in our Friday I Can Do It events? Where we have juice, we have refreshments. Those aren't free. This will help to pay and fund some of the events and some of the incentive programs that we have going on here for the students. So students, if we could give the Team Mentoring Committee a round of applause to show our appreciation. At this time, we would have Ms. Amari Malcolm come to the stage with a brief introduction of Mr. Darren Brown.
Mr. J. Brown continues to serve his community in May. This is our 5th annual Sports Day Assembly, and we look forward to Mr. Brown sing with us every year. Please join me in giving us a round of applause.
Good afternoon, young ladies and young men. How are you all today? I can't hear you. Now I can. I want to first thank Mr. Key Edwards for giving me the opportunity to come here each and every year to facilitate this Rosa Parks Day, and also thank the school system for allowing us to partner and do this great event for our young children. It gives us the opportunity to inspire children and to plant seeds of hope and encouragement that no matter their outcomes or where they're from, based upon the color, income, et cetera, but these children here in this wonderful school district can make it and can be anything they want to be in this world. And that's why I do what I do, and I appreciate all the support that Mr. Edwards has provided me over the years. I want to thank him for the great job he's been doing. Their test scores have gone up in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th grade. I believe overall that the school district has increased their test scores state at least by 2.1%. Only Greg Ramison can tell me if that's true or not, but I want to recognize him also, the superintendent of school. Would you please stand? I also want to thank Miss Debbie Alberico for the great public relations that she does in this community. I also want to recognize my aunt. She's my inspiration. She keeps me on the straight and narrow every time I have issues, or she just keeps me straight and always say, never forget where you come from. No matter how high you go, no matter how much money you make, she always says, you can't take it with you. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start our Rosa Parks Day contest. As many of you all might know, that Rosa Parks Day is a recognized day by the state of Ohio. It is so unique. It's not a holiday, but the fact that it's being recognized, and we're here today to thank her for the legacy that she has left for us to follow. So again, thank you all for coming this day. And the cash prizes are $100 for first place, $50 for third place, and $75 for second. And starting with the 3rd grade class, Mr. Edward will show them exactly what they'll get with there's a certificate. That's what they will receive. And our 3rd grade winner, 3rd place, is Rebecca Fultz. Would you please come up? And the 2nd place winner is Brooklyn Riley. And our 1st place winner is Dimitri McGee. And we're going to let him read his speech.
Testing.
My inspiration for a good education is my mom and my teachers. My mom is my inspiration for education because she pushes me to get good grades so I can go to college. My mom also said I will have a limited opportunities as long as I stick to my goals to become an architect. My teachers are my inspiration because they say you have to try or you won't get anywhere in life. I listen because I want to be something special in my life. My teachers are also my inspiration because they get up every morning to teach me what I need to know to succeed in life. I choose to try hard to go to college and get a good job as an architect. I want my legacy to be known as a nice man who built a lot of houses for people. I also try hard to get up every morning and have a positive attitude at school. I would like to be remembered for being nice and a hard worker and a positive person.
Great job. It's always a surprise because I never know who wins until I open up the podium here. The fourth grade was very interesting this year. One thing I can say over the years, how I can measure how well we've been doing on the Rosa Parks contest, is that when we started out 5 years ago, when I looked and we read the essays, what was really on the children's mind, they were saying things like, I want to work at Burger King, and I want to work at rallies, and I was like, wow, but we come 3 years later, these kids are talking about being architects and talking about being marine biologists and talking about being heart surgeons. That is a great step in the right direction. And it shows me that what we're doing is having a positive impact on these households. And I want to thank you parents for putting those seeds that you just don't have to work at Armco Steel or some paper mill, but you can be a white collar worker and you don't have to be a blue collar worker. So I want to thank you all parents for doing a great job that you do. And also when we read these essays, we can tell if the student wrote the essay or not. Me and Mr. Edwards had a real conversation. I called him up from work. I said, Mr. Edwards, this person, I said, do you think they wrote this? They were using words like, however, as a result of my dad not achieving what he should have achieved, he was not able to go to work. Henceforth and therefore, I said, come on, Mr. Edwards. I know grown folks that only write this well. So we really do read the essays, and I really do pay attention, because I can tell if that is what the writing level should be, whatever that grade level is. So I call him up. I said, you know, somebody done paid somebody to write this essay here. Maybe they getting a kickback or something, you know. But anyway, our third place award winner, I had 2 third place winners. We would read them, go back and read them, because you have to base your resume up on the theme, and the theme is, what is your inspiration for a quality education? And what would your legacy be? So that's the first test. So if you start off talking about my education, you already going to file 13. You know, we don't look at you, but we make sure that, first of all, you are writing your essay in regards to what the theme is. Because that lets me know if your teacher is giving you good instruction, and it lets me know if the students are listening. But in this particular 4th grade category, we had 2 third place winners. I just felt compelled to go ahead and give cash awards for 2 of these candidates. And the first one is Natalie Wright. I'm sorry, Natalia. 30 years ago, we said Natalie, but now it's Natalia. You might have to correct me, I might say it wrong, so I want to be politically correct. This next individual name is it Deja Watson. Deja vu, DJ. You know, I read, someone had the essay read, it said, Cassandra, then I was correct, it's Cassandra. And our second place winner is Brandon Guy. And our first place winner is Caitlin McGraw. I mean, one thing about her essay, I mean, she wrote a whole lot of stuff. I mean, she wrote a lot of stuff in her essay, and I was like, wow.
Go ahead.
I have attained my inspiration to achieve a quality education by having conversations and listening to conversations that my parents have had about when they went to school and what they've missed out on. For example, my dad hasn't had an easy life due to the fact that when he was younger, his mom didn't take him she didn't make him go to school, and he bounced around in foster care because she didn't take care of his diabetes. He went to 3rd grade twice, and then they just skipped him straight to the 7th grade due to his age. Since he didn't really have anyone to support him and make him feel like he could do it, he stopped going to school after the 7th grade. Due to his lack of education, he got into a lot of trouble with the law and went to jail a lot as a kid, also as an adult. He also got involved with wrong people and ended up doing drugs, which caused more trouble for him presently. He has trouble finding a job. He doesn't have the educational background for a lot of jobs, also because of his criminal past. I feel that if I make my education my #1 priority by studying and attending school daily, then I will more than likely be able to earn a scholarship and have the capability to go to a prestigious school. College, to attain my degree to be a doctor for women, which is also called an OBGYN. After I accomplish this, I will be capable to provide a quality education for my family. When my life is well lived and over, I would want my legacy to be that of a woman who worked hard every day to make other people's lives better. I want to be remembered for the caring and listening and being a helpful woman that I intend to be. I not only want to help the ones who can afford medical care, but I also intend to work in a clinic that helps out the poor and needy. Without doctors who donate their time, they would go without any medical care. I know from watching my mother, life is not always easy, but she always has a smile on her face and wants to help out others, even when she can barely afford to take care of my sisters and me. My desire is to continue to instill the love and compassion from helping others into all the people that are a part of my life, my friends, my children, my grandchildren, just like my mother has instilled in me.
Great job. And our third place award for the 5th grade is Tamaya Million. I've been corrected again, Tamia. And our second place awardee is Noelle May Green Young. And our final awardee is Isabel Moore. Is there a going once, going twice? Is there a Isabel Moore? If they're not here, you have to be here in order to win now, so let me just go to the next person in line there. The next first place award is Angelique C. Babb. Because the kids didn't even clap, you know.
A little bit, move that over.
What is your inspiration for a quality education, and what will be your legacy? To figure out what my inspiration is, I had to think first about what inspiration was. In the dictionary, it says that inspiration is the action or power of moving the intellect or emotions, the act of influencing or suggesting opinions. So I had to think about who are the people in my life that influenced me the most. Then I looked up legacy, and in the dictionary it says this: something transmitted by or received from the ancestor or predecessor from the past. So I had to think when I am gone what I want people to think or remember the most about me. I want my legacy to be something that I can inspire someone else to do better in their life. My parents inspired me by working with me and pushing me to my best. My mom and dad tells me to never give up, that even when it seems hard in the beginning, to keep on trying, and pretty soon it will get easier. My mom tells me that practice makes improvement. My friends inspire me by showing me how good it is to get an education. Watching my best friend Aubrey is really good at concentrating on what is important. She gives me tips and helps me when I don't understand something. She also inspires me to focus better and pay attention to what my teachers say and to the directions they give to me. I have realized that since my friendship with Aubrey, I talk less and listen more.
No, Chief, there's another 30 pages. Go ahead, young lady. Working on her doctorate at this age now.
Now the final and most important inspiration in my life is God. He inspires me the most to be a better person and to do good in school, to listen to my teachers, and most of all, to listen to my parents. I am thankful to God for the parents that I have, because I know some kids that don't have nice parents. I went to my mom's work one time, and where she works at a shelter for moms and their kids that have been really abused. I am very thankful that I don't have parents like that. I am thankful to God for the school I go to and the teachers I have, that they teach me what I need to know to do to be the best I can be. I am thankful to God that He helps me pick out the friends I have, because I have realized not everyone that I meet are truly my friends, that there are some people that want to do bad things and not good. For that, God is my inspiration. My legacy is what I want. My legacy is that I want to be the girl who got her education, reached her goals. I want to be the girl that people knew never gave up and succeeded. She stayed in school and never dropped out. My legacy will be the girl that always stood up for what she believed in. She looks at education as a privilege and not something to be taken for granted. I am the girl that knows what she wants and will go after it with no fear. I am the girl that is full of courage, strength, and power to do anything. I am the girl that people will remember. That is what my inspiration and my legacy is. I hope that other people can find what inspires me, what inspires them, and make a legacy of their own. I think that people have greatness inside of them, but if they want it to show, they can dig deep. They can dig deep down and look for it themselves.
As the students are shaking hands, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize a few other people in the building. From the administration building, we have Dr. Carter from the Department of Learning. We have Lisa Lowry, Human Services, and we have Ms. Long from the Pupil Personnel Director. All right. As I said before, I truly believe that Mr. Brown inspires all of our students, so that if we could have every student that participated this year stand up. If you wrote an essay, not if you won, if you were on the stage, if you wrote an essay, if you participated in the essay program contest this year, stand up. We can give all students a round of applause. Inspire all of our students. All righty, students, we're halfway done. If you can continue, you're doing a great job. At this time, we are going to recognize some honored guests that Mr. Brown has. You may have a seat.
Again, thank you all children for participating this year. At this stage of the program, we're going to honor our honorees, our guests here, this distinguished panel of guests. And the award that they will be getting is a plaque, and in the inscription it says, "In the spirit of Rosa Parks, you believed in the potential and worth of every child, worked to help all Americans receive a quality education, played significant roles in developing character, molding and shaping the minds of youth, and you continue to serve in various aspects of the Middletown community. In recognition of your outstanding dedication, commitment, and support to the progress of our school system and making our community stronger and better, we salute you on this 5th annual Rosa Parks Day. And again, congratulations. And our first recipient is Judy Dixon. Judy Dixon was born and raised in Middletown. She graduated from Monroe High School. In 1994, she became the secretary of Taft Elementary School and began a 16-year association with the finest staff and most awesome student body in the Middletown School District. Through her years at Taft and later Rosa Park Elementary, She's seen the teachers, administration, and community pull together for the good of our students. From every challenge and concern came new ideas and innovations. With that I can do it attitude as their motto, many of our students have moved on to middle and high school to find both academic and athletic success. Again, we thank you, Ms. Dixon. You're the first person that our kids see when they come into school is Ms. Dixon. And I'm pretty sure she greeted you all with a great smile. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Dixon.
I'd like to thank everyone. This is really an honor. You know how close I am to Rosa Parks and how much I care about all of you. I have been doing some substitute secretary work, and yesterday I was at Middletown High School. I was surprised and very pleased to see some of our ex-students from Taft and McKinley who are doing so very well there. They all remembered me, and I might not have remembered their faces, but I remembered their names. Just wonderful kids just like you. And I expect to see you all move on to the high school and be just as successful as they are.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dixon. Our next honoree is Mr. Charles Chuck Hall. He is the administrator with Life Skills Center of Middletown. And in his role, he provides leadership to teachers and support staff professionals. Life Skills is a high school that provides an opportunity for students that do not have or are at risk of not earning their high school diploma. He believes that every young person deserves an education and should not be giving up on for mistakes they made earlier in their life. He states that had it not been for someone mentoring him, he would either be in jail or dead. He believes he had found his calling, which affords him the fortune to give to others because he was given this opportunity. And it's just a great thing to have a life skills program, because sometimes in society, people will always say you're not going to be anything, kick you to the curb, and they just want to get rid of you. But within their school system, they believe in everybody. They say regardless of whatever your background, your historical problems, we're going to take you and we're going to make you, and we're going to make you a successful person in society. And with that, I say thank you so much, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Well, I'll tell you, this has really been an inspiration to me to see these young people out here. And that's why I do what I do. Those speeches and your essays were just beautiful. And I just stand here very humbled with the opportunity to present before you, because to me, everybody, each one of you has the right to have a high school diploma. And what I do know is it makes a difference. 75 to 80% of the people that are in prison do not have high school diplomas. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. You're more likely to be in prison without this inspiration of having a diploma. And I believe that the parents have the biggest opportunity, but this is a community issue. It's a community issue. The community both suffers and the community both suffer or prospers when our children are educated. It brings us all together. People come to the community. People leave the community because of a lack of education. So my promise to you is I'm going to do all I can to ensure that happens. I'm going to get more involved in the community to see that each one of you beautiful young people continue to do what you need to do to get education. What I'm asking of you is you do your part. Get up every day. Don't get smart with the teachers. Listen to mom and dad. Don't fight with them when they ask you to get up and you slept, got to bed late last night. Get on up and continue to come to school. And I commend Mr. Brown for his inspiration. And I echo his thoughts when he says to empower the community, because that's where I believe it's going to begin. And I appreciate all of you, and keep on keeping on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And that's why we're here today, to make sure they don't become a statistic. Our next awardee is Mr. Tom Wiley. Mr. Wiley would tell you that he has, at the old McKinley Middle School, he would tell you he had more points than Archie Aldrich. But he is truly an unsung hero. He is a gentleman that really stays off the radar screen. He is truly a man that believes in his community, our athletic program, our civic programs that we have here. He was instrumental in our schools that were being built here. He has the Jeff Wiley Scholarship Program named after his son, the Pigskin Classic, and the list goes on and on. And I commend him for that, because he's not looking for anything. If he can go ahead and help someone, you know, that's his heart. That's what he believes, and that's his passion. And as I had indicated, because I don't really need, see, he didn't even have to give me this. This right here doesn't mean anything. It's what's in his heart right here. And he does everything out of his heart. And I told him I was going to tell him a story. I'm going to take you back 30 years. Back in 1980, he gave this African American a chance to work in, I was an intern in personnel. They never had any person of color. And I was the first one, and you know where I got my inspiration? I was walking down the hall one day, and a lady named Miss Jones. And she said, "Come here, young man." And she whispered in my ear, "You make us so proud." I will never forget that, because it let me know that in life, it's bigger than all of us. It's not about the cars or the houses or the money that you have, but the impact and the encouragement that you can give somebody. And at that point in time, I matured as a young man. You gave me the opportunity. I designed your application. They changed it once I went to the atrium, but because of you, I have the political savvy to deal with the politicals in Washington, D.C. You always told me, loose lips sink ships. And the last meeting we had, we're going to hire a cytotechnologist. And this is when I knew that he was serious about business. We were in a meeting, you had to do FTEs. And you come in, you got to justify if you want to fill it or not. So I just thought I was an intern. I was just sitting around. I really was daydreaming. And when it got around to me, he said, "Darren, what do you say?" And he'd wink his eye at you, and I was like, I agree with Tom here, you know. With that being said, that's my story. So you had something to do with this young man that's up in Washington, D.C., who works with Secretary LaHood every day and write those folks' speeches. You had to do who I am today, and for that, I thank you so much, sir. Because that political savvy is another piece that it has to be a skill set. And I know that you're good at it, because you can make a call and say, go ahead and do that. And that's why we have what we have in Middletown, Ohio. So thank you again, sir.
Just a little bit different story for you. First of all, there's some people obviously that I have to thank for my upbringing. We've all talked about parents today and how important they are to us, and our teachers. I have someone, do all of you know what a coma is? When a person lies in a coma? 5 years ago, I lay in the hospital for 4 days with a coma. And I promise you that I'd not be here today if it weren't for my beautiful wife of 2 months short of 50 years, who's with us today, and I want my wife Lynn to stand, please. Now we're going to talk about the middies a little bit. Everybody knows about the middies, right? All right. The first thing is when I realized that I was being honored today, and I'm so proud that that has happened. My wife laid out a nice black suit, nice purple and white tie, nice white shirt, and I came in the room to get dressed, and I said, "You want me to wear that? I'm going to be with Mr. Edwards today, and he always wears purple and white." So I put on my purple and white, and he puts on his shirt and tie. Well, Mr. Brown talks about the young people that maybe in some way in the past years when they were a middie that I had the opportunity to help. And believe me, one of my favorites is your principal today, and you don't know how lucky you are. I chased this guy around for 3 or 4 years, and look at him now. How did you turn out like this? Well, my story very simply is exactly what you've already heard from Mr. Brown. What a great example for all of you. How about a hand for Mr. Brown? And we've got to move along, but I want you to remember one thing, if nothing else, that Mr. Wiley said to you today. There is no, I don't care what anybody says, there's no greater school system to be in the United States. It's great to be a middie. How many of you remember Taft School? Well, now let's take an example. Look at what you get to go to every day for your education because your community cares, they care about you, and they care about your education. It's those things that make this a great community, a great place to grow up, and makes being a middie so great. So, as others have said, you, from now on, commit to yourself, you're going to be one of those great middies. Thank you very much, and I love Rosa Parks.
Our next recipient is Edrina Denise Hackney Edwards Jones. She is the second of 7 children born to Edward and Martha Hackney. The importance of education and strong character development were instilled in her early by her maternal grandmother, Levada Bryant. with goals to pursue her higher education. Adrena graduated from Middletown High School in 1969 and attended Tennessee State University, the Tiger Bells, obtaining her BS degree and knowing the importance of giving back to her community. Ms. Jones returned to Middletown in 1973 to teach first grade at Taft Elementary School. She also taught at Vale Middle School, Rosa Parks Elementary, and finally Miller Ridge Elementary School, which is the cream of the crop of the Middletown school system. She had a chance to mold and change those children's lives also. This past year, after 36 years of developing future leaders, Ms. Jones retired from the Middletown City School District. Always a champion for others, Ms. Jones faced her own fight of life after being diagnosed with lymphoma, cancer in April of this year, not missing a beat. She has won and will continue to face life's challenges. We will keep her in our prayers to ensure that she beats this thing. She is most proud of her son. Could you come over here, Mr. Edwards? Don't sit back like you don't know music. She is most proud of her son, Mr. Key Edwards. He is the principal here. She's also proud of her nephew, Marcus Hackney, and grandchildren, Ashlyn and Key J. Edwards. Reflecting upon her career, Ms. Jones believes that anything is possible regardless of where you come from or what challenges are placed before you, as long as you stay dedicated and always work hard to achieve. She is thankful for all the lives that she has touched, and especially thankful for those who have touched her life. Let's give her a nice, warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm at a loss for words. With most of you that know me know that that's not possible. First of all, I would like to ask my former fourth grade students to stand up. Those of you who had Ms. Jones, stand up, please. This is when I left, had to leave Rosa Parks because my son became the principal, and so I was transferred to Miller Ridge, which was a blessing in disguise. My former principal was over there, and I thank him for coming and the support. I just want to tell everyone, thank you, boys and girls. You can have a seat. Thank you for all your support in the last couple of months of my life and the prayers. Continue to pray for me. I'm doing well, and I am just glad to be here. I'm glad for this opportunity. Education was such a big part of my life for the last 36 years. I don't know, it's going to be hard just to sit down, so you'll probably see me in the building, and I want to volunteer to help Ms. Kelly. So I'll be seeing you all soon. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones had an impact on my life. I think maybe back in 1981, I had to come home from college, and she asked me what was around my neck because I was pledging a fraternity, and I believe you're a Delta, correct? And she said, you pledging the wrong thing. Why you didn't go with the Q's? And of course, I pledged Sigma. I would never forget that. Mom! Just want to throw that food for thought. You pledged the wrong thing, and you got all that blue and white on. Wasn't strong enough, you know. And then my aunt over here, she getting on my case because I got a brand on my arm, and first thing she says, boy, you better not ever get in trouble. They know who you is. We're going to move on to our last recipient. and that is Miss Lucy Imogene Kareem Martin. She happened to be my first grade teacher over at Garfield Elementary School many years ago. Would you please welcome her, please? Miss Martin has she retired back in 1981. She has over 28 years of educational experience as an educator. She was the youngest of 12 children. She is from Hollywood, Alabama, not California. She worked on a farm, and she knew that she always wanted to be a teacher. She wanted to be a teacher so bad she always played school. And quite naturally, she was the teacher. She was married to William Martin. She has 2 beautiful children. Ricky Martin, would you please stand, sir? And also Cookie Martin, would you please stand? Her work experience was at the Booker T. Washington School. Now, most of the seasoned folks up in here, I believe that you all might have gone to Booker T. Washington School. And from there, she went to Garfield Elementary School. She was such a good teacher that her classes were always filled to the brim. I mean, everybody would always call the principal, can I get my child in here? And she wouldn't turn them down. Her passion has always been young folks like you kids here. She loves all children, but she just loves the little one the most because she says their minds are so vibrant and they're always trying to learn and they work at a perfection. So she likes working with you children here. And she also was my first grade teacher. And for me, it is an honor because she get a chance to see the finished product of when you get a good education. She shaped me and molded me. And she always had a saying that she would put in your mind. She would always say, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can. And she would drill you. Or she would say, I'm going to tell your grandfather Possum Brown if you don't shape up here. Because we all lived in Hunky Town. But anyway, I want to thank you, and it is an honor and a pleasure, and I just wish you so much success. I mean, another thing, her birthday is today. Can we all sing happy birthday to Miss Martin? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'm so glad to see you. So proud. I'm glad when they called me to ask me how Darren was, first grade, in my room. So he left out the main thing. And I think he might have run out of space when he was trying to get all of my name in there. but still he left some out. But so that's all right. He didn't have my maiden name in there. And so I was Snodgrass and Martin. And my mother's maiden name was Tolliver. And so he would run out of space trying to put all that in there. So, but I'm glad to be here. But Darren, I could tell, not only for him staying after school and helping me and get permission the day before. But I always could tell he had the potentials of being a leader. He would always listen, and he would want to help, and he'd get his work done first and get permission from me so he could help others that was kind of struggling. But I always would see that his was done first. And everything, first the skills. You have to listen. I was listening to the young people when they were doing their essays. And that first thing was to listen. You have to listen before you can do anything else. But once you get their attention, you have to get their attention to start reading, because if you can't read, you can't do anything. So you have to listen first. When I had the first grade, I was always start out with a morning story. So they would have to listen because they knew that I was going to ask questions about the story. But sometimes to get their attention, if they're talking, and when I'm talking, the only thing I would do, I would just hush. And they all look around to see what was going on. Then I would say, then they get quiet.
You get that paddle, didn't you?
And I said, now it's my turn. So you have to listen. But we have some of those non-believers. You kind of have to make them know that I mean what I said. So I had a little paddle, and they called it Dr. Pepper. And so then they knew they were going to get a couple of swats on their little behind. So that never hurts anybody. But that will get your attention real quick. And so then you have their attention. But next, the main thing is I'm listening to the children. Looking over, I see some children of the students that I had and some grandchildren of the students that I had. And they could always tell you that Mrs. Martin says, listen before you can do anything else. So thank you very much.
We're going to take it, we're going to take it, we're going to bring your mother. Will you please step? See, it wasn't just Dr. Pepper. Do you know that my behind has been unbalanced since 1965? I have some special recognition I'd like to give Miss Jones and Miss Martin because of a lot of the stuff that they have done. I have some stuff from the White House that I'm going to present to you. And from the White House, it says, thank you for the dedication you have shown to your community. Our nation relies on the faith and determination for the American people, and I admire your commitment. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Sincerely, Barack Obama. And also, on here, it has one of Miss Jones's quote, and the quote says, children know if you are sincere and care about them, and they are good readers of deceit. And for Miss Martin, her quote is, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can. It also has a inscription with their name, Miss Lucy I. Martin, December 10th, 2010, Rosa Parks Day. We gonna give it back to you. We gonna give it back to you, Miss Martin. It ain't gonna run nowhere unless you know pictures is running nowadays. But we have one more item. Just hold your horse. I know you're curious. She always, like she said, hush and listen. What he got? What did it run?
Hush. Is that it?
Happy birthday. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Edwards.
Students, teachers, community members, friends, I think today has been an awesome day, an awesome experience, in part, and thanks to Mr. Brown. So if we could all give Mr. Brown a round of applause. We can do better than that. Let's go, students. Well deserved, Mr. Brown. I thank you. I thank you. A couple parting shots for the parents of the winners. Mr. Brown will have the money in the office as soon as possible. So we would like to send the money home with the parents. Students, make sure you report to me Monday if the parents do not give you the money. And I will follow up with the parents. At this time, we'll have our closing from a Mr. Khalil Myers.
For the students who did not win, there is always next year. Keep working hard and your day will come. For those students who did win, we congratulate you. This concludes our program. We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.